my mission in life, right, is to make everyone that I'm involved with as successful as I can, right? So part of the benefit of Lani not working for me is that it's like it wasn't the right spot for her to be as successful as she could, right? And I think if you can collaborate on business stuff, you can bring more people success.
I've gotten to where I talk to everybody. I didn't used to be that way. Being married to who I'm married to brought that out of me. And then being in real estate, you have to be willing to talk to people. It's a relational business. Veterinary is not much different than that. You've got to be able to communicate with your clients. You've got to, be willing to talk to people. And that's how you make more relationships. You
look at the prices of horses and what veterinary medicine costs, right? Mm-hmm. And where it was 10 years ago. I'm like, man, there's no way it's sustainable. But on the other hand, there's $7 trillion in M1 and M2 money, right? Sitting on the sidelines in checking accounts and savings accounts, just hanging out in this country, not worldwide, in the United States of America, to be deployed for some purpose that is just sitting there waiting to be spent, right? So I don't see how it ends anytime soon.
Welcome to the Landowner Insider, the podcast for Texas landowners who want to stay up to date with current events shaping our state. Here we talk about issues that actually impact your Texas lands, markets, water, wildlife, policy, and the decisions that are shaping our state. I'm your host, Kasey Mock with the Mock Ranches Group, and in each episode, we sit down with the people who are shaping the future of Texas. We're not afraid to ask the hard questions. This is the Landowner Insider podcast presented by the Mock Ranches Group.
So we've got Dr. Charlie Buchanan on this morning. Amongst other things, Charlie is a world-renowned caterer of fine foods.
Absolutely.
An airplane connoisseur, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your catering business.
Well, so we got started 4 years ago. We did, one of my technicians, who's now our office manager, Brett, asked us to cook for her wedding because she knew that I enjoy cooking. I enjoy eating, so I learned how to cook, and then I enjoy cooking for other people.
Got it.
So we catered her wedding. It was a little sketchy, but we got it done. The venue where we cooked at, we rolled in there with a barbecue pit to cook. We cooked tenderloins. And they looked at us like we had three heads. Like, what are you doing here with this thing? Like, no one ever cooks here. I'm like, well, we're going to have to cook here because we got no other option. So they accommodated us. And then by the end of the night, both security guards, the wedding venue lady, and the bartender all came up to me and said, that is the best wedding food we've ever had. Do you have a card? I'm like, well, here's the deal. And this still exists today for the Signature Equine Catering, is that you can't afford me unless you qualify. So if we like you, and we're friends, we'll cook for free. We've done several weddings now. We've done like Rob Foster's team roping. We do Ryan Motes' team roping, right? We do all those, and we don't charge them anything. We cover all the costs, the meat, the food, everything. Unless you just want to hire us, then it's $1 million.
Yeah, got it.
Because
I see.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be a good time. The last two we did, it rained a lot, and we got a little behind on our schedule, and it was a little stressful, especially when it's a wedding. But we cranked it out. And I will say, not to brag too much, but the food's good. I've
heard it's really good.
Yeah.
And Dr. Brad, how I know about this is Dr. Brad Powell that works with you.
Yeah.
Dr. Brad, I reach out to him and I tried to invite him to stuff, come to our derby party or come to this or that. And he's always like, well, I'm catering. I'm like, Brad, what is this catering? What do you mean you're catering? Yeah. Well, I'm cooking with Charlie. Yeah.
Catering with no profit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. See, he didn't tell me that part.
He's on the meats thing. And the last time he was more stressed than I was, which is saying a lot because they didn't get wound up, but it rained a lot and the wood was wet.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah, it was, weren't sure we get the fire started. Like it was a mess.
Yeah, he told me some of that. That's good. Well, the real reason we have you on is you're pretty influential in the equine industry. So thanks for coming.
Yes, sir.
I was talking to Lani Rust, the VIP guest with us today. Amongst other things, Lani's my neighbor, but I'm fortunate to get to work with her. Here at the Mock Ranches Group. Lani and I were talking about doing a podcast, and I was telling her I wanted to also interview you, but she knows you real well. Yep. Y'all have known each other for a long time, so I thought, cool, this would be like us going to coffee, the three of us going to coffee.
Yeah, Charlie's dad was my vet when I was in college, And
This would have been College Station.
College Station, yeah. T-Bone,
Right,
Charlie's
exactly.
dad is like, I guess
actually is world renowned.
he is.
I'm not, but he actually.
Yeah, T-Bone is
absolutely
probably, I would say, the father of the performance horse.
Absolutely. He's,
veterinary
he's
industry.
one of
No
the first.
kidding. No
he's
kidding.
one of the
This is your
first
father?
sport.
Yeah,
sports
T-Bone.
medicine vets, equine sports medicine vets.
He started it.
He actually did help pioneer that industry.
Yes.
Like the stuff that we take for granted we do every day. Like he's one of the guys, the 5 guys in the U.S. that figured out how to do it.
Got it.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And that was at Brazos Valley at that time, or
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
in Navasota. And that's when I was in College Station. So that's where I went and ended up meeting my husband, who is worked there as well. But then my brother-in-law was the chiropractor there. And it was funny how it all
no
ended
kidding.
up meshing together.
I didn't know Mac was such a cupid, but also didn't know that Wade had like worked chiropractic out of a clinic.
Yeah.
Because Wade's come to my house and adjusted my horses, but you don't always know. Is this just a big guy that knows how to crack a horse, or is he's worked at a clinic?
Yeah, the funny story that I love to tell about T-Bone, I was at the clinic one day, Mac and I had gotten engaged, and T-Bone walks by me and he goes, "I hear you're marrying Mac Russ." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Thought you were smarter than that." And he just kept walking. I was like, truthfully, T-Bone loves Mac, but it was funny.
Well, how'd both of you get to Stephenville?
Well, we moved up here when my father-in-law, Robert, bought a cutting horse place up here. And so we all moved up here. Mac quit practicing law, went to riding 2-year-olds, and Wade and Shannon moved up here. And then Weatherford has been the cutting horse capital for, I don't know how many years, as long as I can remember.
been-
I married into the cutting horse business, and it was,
Yeah, I can remember when it was pretty big in Brenham when I was in late high school or college, and there's a lot of cutting horse trainers, and then they
There's
just
still a
slowly.
few.
There's a few, yeah.
which that's where Robert was.
We've actually had helped several clients migrate from there to here.
Yeah.
Those places kind of get hard to sell down there because there's not that big of a market for it.
Late 80s, early 90s, it was a mass exodus up here, and that's pretty much how I ended up here is because people followed the Rusts.
Was that just to get closer to Fort Worth, or what? In the late 80s and early 90s, the
I think
mass
so.
exodus,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
closer to where the horses were showing.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful place to live.
100%.
It's a little hot, but the land's good, right?
Brenham.
Yes.
Here.
Oh, here.
Or both, really. Like, I mean,
When you said hot, I was thinking-
it's all part of,
Yeah,
You said hot, I'm thinking Brenham.
yeah, it's all part of the hill country, right? It's all, it extends down. So it's rolling hills, good grass, good land. And they just ended up, it's not as humid here as it is there. And if you're not from here and you're from out west, you're thinking you've been here, but you got no idea
No,
what
gosh.
humidity is. Yeah.
College Station, Brenham, it's like the most humid place in the world. I think all humidity and fog settles there on an August morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The proximity to Fort Worth, I think, is the reason that the cutting horse guys all ended up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Charlie, when we first moved up here, which is really probably when I got to know you better, was Charlie. You would come up
I started out
pretty often.
traveling around. Like there weren't any vets that were going to cutting horse shows until I started doing them probably the early 2000s. And then it's a pretty regular thing now, but I gained some clients that were here or moved here. And as things went, I would come once a month, and then it was every 2 weeks. And then for about 2 years, I came every Tuesday and every Thursday.
So you say you came quite often to the
we
barns.
leave
Just went to their barn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
and
travel around. Like
traveling.
we was leaving Navasota about 2 a.m. We might start in Oklahoma, in Ringling, and then we work our way south and end up in Dublin, and then we drive back home. Or we might go the opposite direction. But yeah, we would. Yeah, those were long days. And about 2 years of that, it was busy enough. I'm like, man, I would just bite the bullet and move. And Dr. Russell, who owned the practice in Morgan Mill, where we are now, was looking to have an exit. So we bought his practice and we moved in there in
What year was that?
2006,
Yeah.
So 20 years.
20 years.
And what all do y'all have? You got your hands in a lot of stuff now. What all do you have now, from the clinic to?
So we started the Valley Equine with Jeremy. So it's got to be
That's been a while because
12, 15 years ago. Like it just kind of, he looked around and saw an opportunity. And I'm not a big guy for reproductive work. But when I got to Stephenville, I realized there wasn't anybody around doing that. So I started doing some of that and did a fair bit. And then Dr. Christine and Dr. David Ricks both came on board, and they took over that from me. And then Jeremy's like, we should put a stallion station out here. I got some extra land. So we did that. And as it went, it was so successful that he had an opportunity to not have to train horses anymore. So he transitioned out of that, and that turned into, golly, it's ridiculous.
That's a huge facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we added a rehab out there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And y'all have got some of the top studs out there
yeah,
by far.
yeah.
And across not just cutting studs too.
No.
So barrel
Yeah.
horses.
I got to tour it last year and see a bunch of the studs.
It's
It's incredible.
so
crazy where it
every now and
started.
then I'll just stop and take a moment to like look around and see what we've done, and it is surprising the growth and the opportunities we've been given here, and that we capitalized on. Just because I have had the fortune to bump into and surround myself with smart people. Yeah, I mean, like Lani, Jeremy Barwick, the people that work for me, Dr. Brad, like everyone plays a role in that, right? And it's been surprising and amazing what we've got accomplished.
How much of that growth is in the last 6 years?
It's been pretty consistent for our practice, at least. It's 20% every year.
Really?
Like our practice grows 20% every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has for 18, 19 years.
Yeah.
It seems like the repro side has really grown a bunch.
Yeah.
The industry, now maybe not the practice, right? But just the visibility to repro in the industry has grown a ton in the last 6, 7, 8 years. In the rope horse industry, especially with the fraternities and the amount of money that's in it.
I think the way that the industry changed has allowed horses and the value to get pretty ridiculous. I think it's a lot.
That's a fair way to put it.
Yeah, like I mean, when I got here, if you sold, you could go to the futurity sale and you could buy a yearling,
The cutting horse fraternity sale.
getting worth 7,500, 5,000, right? And the sale topper is going to be maybe 50, right? And now 50 is like the floor for a good horse. And they're spending $1 million, and then they're spending $1 million for rope horses, and they're spending $1 million for barrel horses, right? I think that Rock and P. Bobby Patton coming on board, right? And people with significant resources, not wealthy people, but like very wealthy people.
Yeah.
And then Teton came along. Teton is not very active in the industry anymore, but they did a huge service for the industry.
Yeah, there's a big injection right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but then Taylor Sheridan comes along, right, and makes cowboys cool again, right? And it's just the industry as a whole, the horse industry, the Western horse industry, the growth is just, amazing.
I feel like that a lot of that's happened pretty quickly the last few years.
Yes.
On some of that, like
Yeah.
you're saying, when Taylor,
Probably the last 7.
especially the rope horse side and the barrel. I mean, because I grew up rodeoing, so I've seen that side of it for a long time, and that what horses are now versus where they were.
Well, you've got some little colts at your house. You got a brand new baby and then a yearling, Mikey, the yearling. So I was asking you, you told me the other day you're taking Mikey to get x-rays because you're going to, I guess, consign him to sell. He's a cool little horse.
Yeah,
And
he's the hottest metal.
Yeah, hottish metal. And so I asked you, what do you think Mikey's going to be worth? Because I've got 5 horses at my house. They're all, kind of ranch geldings that you can rope on. My daughter does have a fairly nice barrel horse, but we didn't pay a fraction of what he's worth. And so I asked you what, you thought Mikey would bring, and the number you told me, I was like, whoa, you can't even ride him, And so yesterday, I come out of the barn yesterday because we are neighbors. I come out of the barn yesterday to catch this little mare, and I look in Lani's baby colt
Boone Rising
is hung up under the fence. And I'm like, oh man, this is a big deal. This is no longer, oh, poor little guy's hung in the fence, I'm like, shit, this is a big deal right here. We got a problem.
Yeah. He's a
he
smart
got
baby
out.
though. He just inched his way out, and he's good, and got him back with his mama, and
He got out.
They're pretty resilient.
when they're smart, it's nice because he didn't panic, and he just inched his way through and was all good.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier Weatherford, and then we talked about Stephenville. It's kind of two different communities. Interests, the horse discipline, some overlap, but kind of two different communities. Why'd you pick Morgan Mill?
So there's two reasons. One was the opportunity to buy the practice, right? And that's where the practice was.
Got it.
And also, we could have been closer to Weatherford, but I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in all the hoopla and the drama that happens in Weatherford, right? So we decided to be a little further away. And actually,
There's no drama here in Stephenville.
well, it couldn't. It wasn't like that then, but it couldn't have worked out better, honestly. And I can remember, when I told my dad, who was my business partner at the time, that it was time to move. He's like, "Oh man, I don't know about that." And then so we came up and talked to Dr. Russell and looked toward the facility, looked around. There wasn't a lot on the facility, but I can remember we were eating lunch in Chili's because that was about the only restaurant in Stevensville at the time, right? And we're just sitting there, and I look over at him, and he's just doing this number, watching trailers just drive by, like constant. He's like, "You know what? I think you're probably right. I think this might not be a bad place to be." And Stephenville was just starting to kind of hit its stride as a horse place. But it just fulfilled everything that you could imagine it would have been.
Even the Whataburger in town has a place for horse trailers to park. Yeah. They got a gooseneck trailer parking area at the fast food restaurants.
Well, the other good thing about Dr. Russell, he was an established vet here and very well respected, because we drove up before I went to College Station. When we would come from Waco, we would come here. And so he had a good following already.
Yep.
And so that worked out. It was just a really good.
And
as it is, Weatherford has kind of grown this direction. Weatherford has changed
a lot.
So much. And we've lived here.
Yeah, Weatherford, Aledo, all that.
23 years. And it has crazy how much Weatherford's grown.
Yeah. And the good thing for Stephenville is it just pushes all those people, the horse properties, this direction. Because I can remember, there were 3 or 4 ranches that I would call on a regular basis in Aledo. I can't remember that farm to market road that runs from 20 down to 377. And I drove down it the other day just because I'm trying to get around a wreck, and it's nothing. It is solid houses. None of that is left there anymore. It would surprise me that it had grown up that much. Mm-hmm. But
did you go to Texas A&M?
I did.
Yeah. 2 fighting Texas A&M.
Don't ask him about A&M.
8 long years I spent at Texas A&M. Yes. Yeah. It's complicated.
10% of most people's lives you spent at College Station. Yeah. How about that? What class were you, Lani?
01. Class 01. Yeah.
How about you, Charlie?
97.
Let me show you something. This, Lani, have you seen this?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this football, I don't know what the year was. What was the year that the bonfire fell?
That would have been my junior year. So that would have been 99, probably 2000. I'm trying to remember exactly.
So that football was signed, if the bonfire fell in 2000, this would have been in 99. This football was signed at bonfire by the entire senior class and the coaching staff. So that's Sir Parker, Dat Wynn, R.C. Slocum. It's pretty awesome. It's been sitting in my closet for a long time.
Brad would be very impressed.
Dr. Brad, he's a big football guy.
And that's how y'all have known each other since vet school.
We're in vet school together. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I should show Dr. Brad.
He would be impressed. It's not really my thing. I'm not much of an Aggie.
Okay.
I would be less than a 2%er.
Well, Lani's an Aggie.
Yes, she is. She probably appreciates it.
Yeah, that's why I said it in front of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very sad time.
It is actually pretty bad when the bonfire.
It was really.
Absolutely
I remember it was a very surreal. I remember waking up and my boyfriend at the time calling and saying, "Hey, bonfire fell," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
and it was. I had friends that were working on it. It was a very sad moment.
Yeah,
very sad.
So mom's father, who's my namesake, played football at Texas, University of Texas.
Okay,
he was a 4-year All-American. Was exceptional, defensive tackle and center. He was in the Sports Illustrated's 50th anniversary top 50 All-Americans of all time.
Okay.
So I grew up a Longhorn fan. So I never got on board with the Aggies.
Oh, man.
So it was really hard to exist 8 years and not be one of them. Because I'm not sure if you're aware, it's pretty much a cult.
T-Bone went there too, correct?
He did, yes. So, also not an Aggie.
So one of our, I grew up in McGregor. And our hometown vet was in the same class as T-Bone. And Dr. Ainsworth always talked about, he always told my dad, when when he figured out we were going there and, everything, he was like, he is the smartest person I have ever been around in my whole entire life. I don't know. He told a story. I don't know if it's true about T-Bone wrecking a car or something. I don't remember.
He wrecked 4 cars when he was in college.
There you go.
He had a good time in college. Yes, he did.
But absolutely, Dr. Ainsworth said he would come in and just ace those tests, just brilliant. And he still is. I mean, brilliant with horse. Yeah. There's so many stories I can hear from Charlie and from my husband about just the stuff that T-Bone could find that there's no offense to Charlie, but I don't think he would disagree with me. He's amazing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny.
I'd be remiss if we didn't at least talk a little more about veterinarian practice and horse industry and what all you do, because y'all do it the best. What's changed? How long have you been in practice?
30 years this year.
Okay, so what's changed in 30 years? Significant.
Well, I think the tools we have, the technology we have, right, the ability to see into the horse is pretty remarkable. Like we just put in a CT at the clinic. It's a separate business, but because we have some other practices invested in that. But the ability just in 30 minutes total, I can take a horse down there, I can put its foot in there, and I can see everything I need to see inside the foot to make a good decision on what's wrong with that horse instead of guessing. Basic is what we used to do, right? Yeah. You can x-ray, you can ultrasound it, but it's not the same. You can MRI horses.
What does it cost a CT scan a horse's foot?
$1,500 for 1 foot, $700 plus for extra another foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money. But when you're talking about a $50,000 to $100,000 horse that's laying.
Yeah.
Well, and depending on how much time you're going to be, I mean, you can really target what you're looking for.
That's right. The information you get from it is well worth it.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does all that benefit the average? I mean, you drive around Stephenville, Texas, and what your dad saw 20 years ago is still the case. But there's not a town in the country that I'm aware of that you'll see more horse trailers driving down the road than this town.
Right.
And so, and you drive, we're in real estate, Lani and I, obviously. And so we drive around and look at properties all day. And I mean, every one of them has a horse on it. Yep. Just nearly.
Yeah.
Just nearly. So benefit of all this to the average horse owner, because they're not all professional rodeoers.
Yeah. I think
most aren't.
Yeah. So to, not to get way off in the weeds, but the reason that I am a horse vet, equine vet, is because I think horses are the most amazing creatures that God's ever made. Like their emotional intelligence is amazing. And they're just intelligence, right? Some of the stuff they do is just like, they're not just animals, right?
Yeah, they're pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think Teddy Roosevelt said the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man, right? I think, and that's true, right? So the ability to treat them as somewhere between a companion animal, small animal, and livestock, I think is important. So then if there's a problem and you can source the solution to the problem, I think that's important to benefit for someone. It's not just because it's not a performance horse doesn't mean it's not important.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. I think you probably would know this. I saw a deal one time. Horses, pigs, dogs, and dolphins, I think, are the 4 animals that have the most emotional ability to connect in relationship with somebody. Yeah. It'd be hard to have a pet dolphin.
I think Maddie would go for that.
But I grew up in the show pig industry, and man, them pigs, like, they would become your buddy. They would rub their back and rub their bellies, and they're kind of companion animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. I get a lot of joy out of them. My brother was in the office earlier, and we had a long discussion about this, and he's in the livestock show business. And so they spend a lot of money on show goats and show pigs and show lambs, and they go no different than, I've got horses that I don't go compete on very often. And people ask all the time, why would you spend that much money on a horse? Or why would you spend that much money? Well, I get that question. I ride nice horses, and I don't go rope hardly ever. I actually think one of the worst ways to spend a weekend is at a team roping. I mean, it's got to be one of the most miserable ways to spend a Saturday.
No, not everybody agrees with you.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't. But I just, now I would love to go practice all the time. Go with some buddies, rope a little bit. I like to use the horses working cows. I like to just ride them. But I don't play a lot of golf, and I don't play video games, and I don't do a lot of things. So when I come home in the evening, the relaxing thing for me to do is to come home in the evening and saddle a horse that I can go get along with and not have a fight with. And when I ask him to do something, he does it. And that's very rewarding. And he enjoys it and I enjoy it. But that's expensive.
Yep.
And people say, well, why would you spend that much money on a horse if you're not? You should go to Vegas to the World Series, man. That's where you can go win. You might win 50,000. And I'm like, that doesn't excite me. If the goal was to go make $50,000, I know how to do that today here in this office. And so I don't want to turn my hobby into something that's so directly related to just making money. But I told my brother this. Nobody has a ski boat. And what's a good ski boat? What's a good ski Nautica Mastercraft cost? 120 to 200,000. Yeah. Nobody that has a $100,000 to $200,000 ski boat goes to Lake Saturday and expects to make money. Yeah. They want to go have fun. Yep. Yeah. They want to enjoy the ride, baby. I think the horse deal's the same way for a lot of people.
It's a sweet spot between a commodity and a hobby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the ability to go make money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you don't have to make money.
Don't have to
still enjoy it.
Yeah. I tell my wife it's a business. I don't think she believes me, Lani.
It is. I mean, but I agree with Charlie. I think it's a combination. It's something I enjoy. I enjoy competing. But we've also been able to have, to start breeding and raising some, and it's fun. It's kind of hard. I'm going to have a hard time selling them because we have some that have some pretty big personalities, but that's part of it. And that's what you do with them. And you want them to go on and be successful, and hopefully
you've got
they will be.
Old McDonald's farm over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, Charlie, so I know which one you're talking about. He's talking about Gus.
If an animal retires, this animal is hits the jackpot. If
Max
it ends up at Lani's
says that
house.
if you want to live to a ripe old age, you need to come live at our house. So Charlie has treated Gus for
his whole life,
basically. And so he's
how old is Gus?
36.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little research.
Yeah, he's 36. And I think he's going to make it to 37.
He was probably, he's either 4 or 5 when Wade got him. Was he 3?
No, he was older than that because Pete showed him at the futurity. And then I think Wade bought him from either Don Boone or Ken Sitton. Yeah. And then won the non-pro on him.
Yeah. He was still in age events when he bought him, though.
Yeah.
Eligible. So he couldn't have been older than 6.
And Maddie,
36?
He's 36. Maddie showed him at the junior scholarship finals when he was 29 and missed making the finals by half a point, which was pretty impressive, I thought.
So as of today, the oldest living American quarter horse that's been publicly verified is Tracy's Little Clayburgh, better known as Fancy. She lives in Aldine, Virginia, with her owners, Paige and Sigmund Blummer. Foaled April the 1st, 1988. She's currently 38 years old. Recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest living quarter horse. So maybe Gus will beat Fancy.
He's still opinionated too, because I ran out of a senior feed the other day and I bought some at Atwood's and he didn't eat it.
Well, I come out of the house the other day and he was running across the pasture and bucking like a colt.
Yeah.
I kind of was scared for him.
He's crazy. He was out of a good mare, really, really good mare. That DACA lady, I don't know how many babies. She had a lot of good babies, but he's crazy, and that's why he's still alive. That's what made him such a good cutting horse, too.
So y'all been real successful, Charlie. How much of that is tied to location and land and the real estate component of what you do? We're real estate people. So how much of your success is tied to that?
A lot. I think location is everything. And I wish I could tell you that I did it on purpose, but I didn't. I wish I had more when we started. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we're in an amazing spot where that is because we're on a major roadway right outside of town, not in the city, so we don't have to worry about all that kind of mess of city planning. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're on 281 and on 377 Stallion Station.
Yeah.
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 And then the Reset Farm is on 67.
67, yeah.
So
got it.
Easy access.
Easy access for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
I called Jeremy the other day. I was like, because, they've got so many mares and babies turned out. Like, what's your favorite type of fencing? because we're fixing to redo some stuff on our place, and we were going to have more mares and babies and stuff like that. What do you know, we put in cable. I'm not a big fan of cable anymore. I don't really like it. So we're fixing to take it out. You know, what is your, you know, Jeremy's a fan of like 7-strand slick wire with stays.
My favorite is 5-strand slick wire with stays. Yeah. So there's enough room to put a leg through it and get it back out without tearing something up. If it's too tight, then you get tangled up. Not a fan of cable. We do have cable at the clinic. It's a little more abrasive on a horse. Not a fan of no climb, just because they come untied and then you get lacerations from that.
Yeah. Well, like yesterday, Kasey was talking about Benny, which that's our little bad boon. He had fallen asleep under we've got 6-strand slick. Those pins weren't initially set up for horses, but they've worked out fine. He just fell asleep under there, got hung up, and he was able to get himself out. The wire stretched out, doesn't have a scratch on him.
Yep.
That right there where he was an H brace, and we don't have the stays tied in right there.
Well, Maddox is tying them
Maddox
today.
He's
there
Casey's
today.
son is my little stay tire. He's tying them today. So, but you know, because of that, if that had been now the cable that we've got, part of the reason I don't like it is it stretches. We don't have stays or anything tied into it. So my other baby likes to crawl through it, which is frustrating. But I've become, initially I liked it, but we've had a couple horses kick through it and get hung up, and luckily no major injuries from it. Really just scratched scraped the skin all the way off, but not a fan.
Like wood posts. So it's a little more forgiving.
Yeah.
If they get especially babies, they get to run around. If they just run into it and it's tight, and then bad things happen. If it's wood, it may fall down. They may get out, but they're not hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the most common injuries you see that are related to somebody's property setup?
I think not enough room, right? Or the fence like that, when that baby gets underneath it, it's too low to the ground. It causes problems. I mean, it's
Lacerations the most common injury that comes into the
I
clinic?
would say, lacerations, puncture wounds, those are probably the most common.
Yeah. Punctures from T-posts and stuff like that.
Yeah, T-posts are bad.
Oh, those
not
are
a fan.
nasty.
Yeah.
Those are
Not a fan.
nasty.
Yeah.
I've got them, but they're nasty.
Well, my brother-in-law had a horse that got hung up on one, and
Yeah.
it was, he recovered, and they went back to showing him, but it was not pretty for a while.
My son, he's going to make a good capitalist, I think, let's say. So he's 12 years old. Young man needs a job, right? So I've got a lot of projects around the house, and Maddox, he loves guns. So he's like, Dad, I want to save enough money this summer to buy my own 22, which he's got safes full of guns, but he wants this specific one, and it's about $800. It's for 22, pretty expensive. It's like, well, bub, there's plenty to do. Get to work. He goes, well, who would hire me? I said, well, what are your skills? Well, I can do this and this. I said, okay, we can tie some staves in the fence. So I get him to tie staves. And after the first day, because I was paying him by the hour, 12-year-old wages, they don't make a ton of money. Yeah. He goes, Dad, I think I want to charge by the foot. I said, oh, well, tell me what you think it's worth a foot. He said, I think $2 a foot. I'm like, by linear foot of fence? Yeah, Dad, $2 a foot. I said, well, the problem with that, bub, is it costs $5 a foot to build the whole fence. And that's what the fence builder providing labor and materials. So you're providing no materials. You're using my tools and stays or Lani's stays and my Ranger. And so all you're providing is labor. So he said, well, Dad, I want to be able to make more money by the hour than $10. If I tie more stays, I want to make more money. I said, that's fair enough. How do you think you should charge? We had the whole discussion by the foot. What we ended up was $1 a stay. So the first few days he goes out and he ties, and he's tying about 7 or 8 stays an hour. So he's making less than his $10 an hour. Now I like it because I'm actually getting what I'm paying for. So when he starts working for Mac and Lani, he has this idea he's going to charge him a mobilization fee. Setup fee. Because he's got to get all of his tools, and he's got to go to Lani's cedar stave pile and load our stays and all this before, and get the Ranger gassed up and all before he goes out to the pasture. So the first day he gives Mac a bill that's got a setup fee on it. And Mac says,
Your idea was this.
yeah. Mac basically said, we're going to have to get a few more than 7 or 8 stays tied if we're going to pay this mobilization fee. So, but I appreciated the hustle. You know,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
He does a great job too. He comes in there and he cuts them off and he ties
cuts
them
them
really
off.
well. He measures each one of them. It's pretty fun.
I helped him the other day. I laid out an old toe strap and he got some paint. I said, okay, measure this strap according to how much gap Lani wants her post tied. Put a loop at the end. So when you pull up to another H-brace, you can loop around the H-brace, stretch the strap out, and the strap has painted on it where a stay goes. So you don't have to measure every time you get to one. Stretch the strap out, start sending your stays up. Systems, bub.
$10 an hour is pretty good money, really. Ain't bad.
Well, I thought so.
Yeah.
Maddie is working at a friend of ours. They have a warehouse. Her and Hallie both are this summer, and they made me laugh yesterday because they're working 10-hour days right now. Maddie's like, I work 10 hours and I got $100. That's it. That's all I got. And I'm like, well, welcome to the real world.
When I was 8 years old,
Tell Max to call me when he gets done at your house because I got some stays every time at my house too.
yeah, when I was 8 years old, I worked for a cotton farmer. My brother and I, we would get dropped off in the fields at daylight with the water jug and a hoe. And we would walk, it's 1 mile there and 1 mile back. And we'd take about 4 rows apiece. He'd run a swather through there before and spray. And the next week we'd come in and everything that wasn't dead from the spray, we would have to grub out and hoe. So cuckleburrs and sunflowers and mainly were the things. And so we would hoe weeds from daylight until about 1 in the afternoon. So, you get about 7, 8 hours in at that time as an 8-year-old and walk in fields. And then we'd go sit in the farrowing barn in Farrow Sal's. And I think we got paid $3 an hour. But things are relative,
Yeah.
A gallon of fuel is 87 cents.
Yeah.
But you learn how to work.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good for me still. Yeah. I still reference that.
Yeah.
Lani, how long have you been selling real estate in Stephenville?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Changed a bunch.
It has changed a lot.
We moved here in 01, back in 01. I was here last
sold
in
you
the
your
early
place.
2000s. Yeah. I should have called Lani first. True story. My wife and I decided we were going to move here. We'd prayed for about a year over moving here to raise our kids. I had a crazy successful career in Austin in real estate, in ranch sales, and ran farm and ranch for Keller Williams Realty International for 10 years. And it was about a $6 billion a year business that I oversaw. I had an office downtown Austin, and we lived in Driftwood, Texas. And I mean, by all people's standards, we were whooping them. Mm-hmm. And we were. Yeah. Except for I wanted to raise my kids a little differently. My dad was real present. He didn't build any wealth, but he was very present. And he taught us how to work. And we grew up on a farm with chores. And the kids, if we needed to get in the truck and drive down the county road to the neighbors, we could. And all the things. And we had a gun with us all the time. And so you learn all the lessons that we could not learn in the outskirts of Austin. My kids couldn't. And I didn't there's nothing wrong with kids that play video games and play soccer, but I didn't want my kids to grow up where recreation was a soccer field and they had video games to entertain them while dad was at work. It's not what I wanted to do. So we made a big sacrifice to move to Stephenville, but probably limiting beliefs and ego and all the things. I didn't want to tell any other realtors that we were moving here for fear that they wouldn't show us their good stuff, and that was pride. And I should have never had that thought, but that was my thought. And so I called Lani and I called a few other people and said, we have these picky clients that are looking up here. And here's what they're looking for.
I think you shared with me because we were on the board.
I shared with you eventually.
We were on the board, yeah.
I shared it, but it took almost a year. So we had looked at a lot of stuff and we were really specific about what we wanted. And we wanted a view and we wanted privacy. We wanted some water. We wanted some room. And we were real picky about the way the neighbors looked, their property, not them specifically. Let's be real clear on this DEI thing or whatever. I didn't care how they looked personally, but I didn't want, too junky. Yeah. Right. And so we looked for a year and could not find anything. We were running out of time because we'd already sold our place in Driftwood. And so one day I just told Lani, these picky buyers are us. And we would, we're trying to find something for us to relocate our family here for these reasons. And she laughed and said, well, you should have told me that 6-8 months ago. And, her and Mac
because Mac and I had been holding 30 to 40 acres on our place because we didn't want, Mac was like, put it on the internet. I'm like, I want to know who I live next to. I want same thing, same criteria Kasey had. Because we had a fence line between us and our other neighbors. And so there was a lot of privacy there.
Yeah.
And then
trees.
And the tree line. Yeah. And so, but the land to our east, there's no tree line. And so whatever they built, we see. And so, anyway, it was kind of funny because some of Kasey and Elizabeth's best friends ended up living around the corner, which unbeknownst to us. And then now we have.
Well, Lani told me that
You could have saved 6 months.
I could have saved some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lani told me, she said, you should come look at this place that we have. I think it might work. And we were staying in our friend's house, and I had my Polaris Ranger there. My horses were at Caleb Drigger's. Yeah. And so our horses were at Drigger's, and we were staying at the Willinghams, and my Polaris was there. And I was like, well, where do you live, Lani? I have no idea. And she gave me your address, and I said, well, that's a mile away down a gravel road. I'll drive over there. And so I think we got a glass of wine and drove over there and watched the sun go down this hilltop. And the next morning, Scott and I drove over there at daylight and watched the sun come up on the other side. Oh, and we were like, this is it.
Yeah.
How much will you sell us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Best neighbors in the world.
Yeah. It's worked out great. Now Kevin's down the road.
Yeah. My twin brother's down the road with his
family compound going on.
It's the best county road.
We do. We have a great area where we're at. Close to town, great groundwater, great views.
You're real involved, Lani. I'm going to pivot off of Charlie a little bit and talk to you. You're super involved in Steveville, in the schools, in the community, athletics, all kinds of things. Why Steveville?
Well, I grew up coming up here because we rodeoed and ran barrels, so we were up here a lot anyway. And so then when Mac and I got married, and his dad decided to transition from Brenham up here, Mac was like, he was sick of practicing law and was like, hey, we're moving to Stephenville. And that was kind of the way it got delivered to me. Which
you mean it wasn't, hey, would you like to move to Stephenville?
No, not really. But that's a whole nother conversation. So, for me, it was the place that Robert and Connie bought. Like growing up, my dad farmed. And that was like my dream place, like big custom barn. And, we had a nice barn and we had everything we needed. But then to move up here and be able to be in that type of business was, for me, growing up like a little horse crazy girl, that was amazing. Mm-hmm. So we moved up here, trained there. Mac trained 2-year-olds and stuff like that. Then we ended up transitioning and buying our own place south of town. Honestly, like a mile from where we live now, which was kind of funny about it. And then Maddie was, I guess, a year old when we did that. She was 19. And then as the girls got older, it was great being closer to town because Roberts is probably 25 to 30 minutes from town. So we were back and forth a lot. And so being closer to town was nice. We have always loved, Stephenville's a great town. I grew up in a little bitty, McGregor's 5,000 people. Stephenville's bigger than that, but you still have that hometown feeling.
A lot of pride here.
It's a lot, yeah. And of course, then they started going to school. I actually helped start White Horse Christian Academy when Maddie was in 3rd grade, which was fun. It was a great thing. They went there until Maddie was going into 7th grade. And we're a competitive family. And so sports, both the girls were playing sports, or Maddie really was. Hallie was still a little younger, playing soccer and stuff. And then, as they got into school and got into sports, we just got more and more involved in the community. My parents were always involved in whatever we were doing. So I believe in that. Like if my kids are in it, I want to be involved. How can I make it better? What can I do to help? What can we do to improve it? And so, I think just by having that mindset and being raised by people, my mom and dad I grew up in C2RA Rodeo, which is still in existence, and they were president and secretary of it for, I don't know how many years, a very long time. And so getting involved in just whatever my kids are doing, trying to help make it better. Stephenville's a great place, and there's a lot of really, really good, solid people here. And we've been lucky enough to become friends with a lot of them. That have really, I think they've helped my business grow, and they've poured into my kids. And I couldn't be more proud to be from Stephenville, have my kids graduate from Stephenville ISD, and be part of it. So
I think every piece of property I look at, you know the backstory on it. That's so-and-so used to own that, and that's sold this year.
I'm not as good as some people because there's a lot of families that have been here a very, very long time. But we're, the church we go to Graham Street Church of Christ, and we've gone there the majority of the time that we've lived here. And there's a lot of people that are, I would say, old Stephenville people. And so you learn those connections and you build those connections and those relationships, and it makes a difference.
You're a sucker for a volunteer board.
I won't blame that on my parents, but yeah.
President of the Stephenville Board of
Association of
Realtors.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do you serve on?
So I'm on the Stephenville Athletic Boosters. There's 26 of us, so there's somebody that represents each sport. I represent the cross country team because I have a long distance runner, and not sure where she got those lungs, but she's a runner. Maddie was the girls pole vaulted, but Maddie was a sprinter. Hallie's our long distance runner. So she's really a sprinter that can run a long time. She's a sub 60 quarter runner. So we're pretty proud of her there. And then we serve on the Realtors Land Institute board together.
Texas chapter of RLI. Yeah. Sucker for volunteer board and a pet animal. That's Lani.
Yeah, we kind of have
an old horse. That's where it needs to go.
Menagerie of animals at our house.
Tell me a couple things that have changed significantly in Stephenville real estate in 9 years.
Definitely the amount what land costs now.
Yeah.
From where, we had dabbled in buying stuff before I even got into real estate, and we laugh because there was a place right around the corner from where we all live now that we talked about buying with my brother-in-law and another friend of ours. And, they wanted like $3,500 an acre for it. And we were like, oh my gosh, like how can we afford to buy that 75 acres at $3,500 an acre? But anyway, we tried to mess with it, didn't get it done. Come to find out, like 5 years later, that place sold, split it up into tracts and sold them for $7,500 an acre, which now those same tracts would be $15,000 to $20,000 an acre.
Yeah, I mean the stuff on our county roads selling for $20,000 in ranch tracts. It's not a ranch.
No,
but in 12-acre tracts.
Yeah,
ranchette.
Yeah, I think there's a large. We've seen a lot of land get broken up around here in the last 9 years.
Yeah.
In the ranchettes, people.
What's the population growth of Erath County been in that period of time? Has it doubled? Not counting the university. Do you know?
I don't know that number.
Find out.
My friend Ashley would know that. But as far as the county, I don't know how much the county has actually grown.
In the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know if it's doubled exactly.
I'd be surprised if it did.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that much.
I don't think it's.
Parker County probably has.
Parker, I would think has for sure. Because I don't know that Erath County has.
I'm asking my chat assistant. She'll know. He or she, I don't know what it is.
You don't have a name?
It's a non-binary assistant.
Well, all my employees that are friends, they have an avatar and a name. Yeah.
For their AI?
For the chat GPT?
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
I'd have to ask my assistant how to name them. Okay, 2010, the census was 37,000. 2025 estimated at 44,000. Yeah. So that's not that big a growth. The university's grown a lot. That's not big a growth. I would have expected more than that. It feels busier than that when you come to town.
It does.
Yeah. It feels in the amount of fragmentation of properties. But I guess that makes sense on why like new builds perform and resales are a little slower. Some of the resale market's almost all college driven.
Yeah, and our inventory we have more inventory now than we've had, I think. But in town specifically, because I do a little bit of everything, we don't have much new construction, which that drives our prices up.
Yeah.
Which it's crazy to me is, so with Maddie being at A&M, we were looking at buying a house down there last year, and our market's not that much different than College Station, which was a kind of an eye-opening for me. Even our rentals we're really about the same as College Station. Price-wise, rental-wise, now their taxes are more than ours, but as far as just I mean, we're pretty even, which was pretty surprising. I was really surprised when I really got to looking at it. I expected it to be a little higher.
Charlie, do you ride or show horses?
No, not since college. I own horses that other people ride and show.
Okay. Own some fraternity horses or what?
Some cutting horses. Yeah.
Got it. And the cutting, any rope horses?
No.
No.
Well, yeah, technically I have half interest in a rope horse, but I wouldn't call him that.
Okay. Why cutting horses? Is that a business or you enjoy them?
I enjoy them. Yeah, like that's probably the majority of what I do. And I enjoy
your
the people,
client, like the horses you work on, or mostly cutters. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would say
I have a decent number of rodeo.
it's the biggest part of my business, but it's probably not a majority of my business.
Yeah.
But
yours personally.
Yes.
Not the clinics.
that's right.
How many veterinarians are at the clinic currently?
11.
11.
Yeah.
11.
It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. That surprises me still when I say that out loud. That surprises me because I got here 20 years ago is me and Dr. Russell. There's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any mentors as you were building that?
My dad and Dr. Russell. Dr. Russell helped a lot. Like he was I think it surprised him how fast that business grew once we moved in. Had a little different business initiative than he did. Like he was pretty happy with the business he had, and I was like, I think my employees would tell you that we're been on world domination, scheduled on my calendar every day. But my dad wasn't. My dad was growth minded. So I think that surprised him. But yeah, my dad's probably like, he's taught me almost everything I know about business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about risk taking? What's the biggest risk you took?
Well, make bad investments, make good investments. I think buying that practice and really putting all of my liquid capital into it over the years, it can be a little stressful. It's always worked out. Sometimes it is a little tight. Sometimes it's not. I mean, it's owning your own business, at least for a while when you start, it's feast or famine, right? But I think as long as you can acknowledge that and you don't have to, like, we never struggled to eat, but we sometimes didn't eat like we wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool. So when Charlie first started expanding, when y'all started buying other clinics and stuff like that, Mac and I both were lucky enough to be part of that. And it's pretty neat. That's what I ran into his wife yesterday at the grocery store, and I told Shannon, it's pretty cool to see where it started and where it is now.
Yeah.
I remember when we started the management company and bought Salado, and when Salado was still part of it, and now because it was really just Stephenville, Navasota, Salado, and then who was the mobile vet in Houston?
Oh, Kurt Heidi.
No, who was it? Anyway, it was pretty cool to see now where y'all have grown to, because now it's a lot bigger than that.
If I was
It's impressive.
smarter
very impressive.
back then, Lani would still work for me. But it also is really beneficial to me. Beneficial to me personally, because I have a client or an employee who's looking for something, I just tell them to call Lani. And she's does such an amazing job, right?
Well, she does a great job.
Absolutely.
She communicates well. She's knowledgeable. She negotiates well. Doesn't dodge stuff.
Nope.
No, Lani's first class.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Lani joined our team, I'll tell you this. I don't think I've ever said this, but has not been I haven't felt the bump of like when you bring somebody new into the organization. People feel that. Everybody takes up space.
Yep.
People sort into order.
There's an adjustment.
Yeah, there is an adjustment. Some people will bring the mood down. Some people elevate it. Some people come in and they challenge everybody. You bring a star player into a basketball team, everybody's going to have to work harder to keep up, or they're going to be exposed as not working hard. Because this person, you bring a Steph Curry into your team, and everybody's got to work harder. Yeah. And I felt that when Lani joined our team. Professionalism. Hard work. It's a job, and we have a great team. It's not like anybody was slacking. I don't want my guys are going to listen to this. I don't want to get mad. Nobody was slacking. Trust me.
Yeah.
But even on the best of the best teams, you can still have an adjustment there. And I felt that when Lani came in, because she is very professional and direct and to the point. She's not there for social hour.
Nope.
Lani does like to talk.
Yep.
But she's not there for social hour in the fun club. This is a job. It's what we do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great. I'm glad she doesn't work for you anymore, though.
In some ways, I am glad that she doesn't work for me anymore, and it's probably better for her that she doesn't work for me anymore because I can be a lot. But I think that she brought a lot to my business that was pretty helpful. And it's hard to replace.
Have you always been that way, just genetically you're growth minded, or is that early on we borrowed a bunch of money and I mean we had to grow to make it work?
Wheels are always turning.
Yeah. No, it's everything we do, right? It's hard to dial it in sometimes because if we start another venture with someone else, like they don't understand what I'm like, because I mean
you have a bunch of partnerships or a few partnerships.
Yeah, like I'm a collaborator by nature, right? But sometimes collaborating is difficult because their intentions are not the same as my intentions, right? And my intentions are we're going to make it as big and as awesome as we possibly can. Yeah. And a lot of people are happy to just keep it like it is.
And you're willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
Charlie will.
Yeah.
I mean, go until you will put every ounce you've got into it, and not everybody's willing to do that.
One thing about me that I can guarantee you, like I'm not the smartest, I'm not the most talented, I'm not the best looking, but you may tie me in working, but you're not going to outwork me.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that has made, I think, our business successful, is because it's the same thing with Lani, right? When you bring that mindset to the business, it spreads across the business, right? And it becomes part of the culture. And that's important because the people that survive and flourish in our business, in my personal business, are those people, right? Yeah. And the ones that don't do that, they don't stick around very long because it's not me that puts the pressure on, it's everybody else.
Ours is the same.
Yeah.
We may have had more agents last night doing contracts at midnight, but I know I was doing contracts at midnight.
Yeah.
And I was up at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I was here at 6:30.
Yeah.
And there may be other people on the team that were doing that same thing. I don't know, but they're not going to outwork me.
How about it? Drives my
you
wife
will
crazy.
not outwork me.
Like, it drives my wife crazy because it's all like, I can't turn it off, right? So we're at dinner and I may pull up my phone. I start like typing notes in my phone so I don't forget what I just thought about, even though I'm having a conversation where they're like, having ADD is a problem for some people, right? But it's also, if you can channel it in the right direction.
It's the biggest competitive advantage you can have.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know how to channel it.
That's right. Yeah. That's the hard part, right? Because our youngest daughter's the same way, right? And you struggle in a lot of settings. Struggle in school for sure, right? It's not the place for people with ADD or ADHD, right?
Mm-hmm. They want to calm you down.
That's right.
But when you get out of school, it's your biggest competitive advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. So helping her navigate that and figure out how to put the pieces together so that you can survive in the world, right? And she and I are also introverts, which is also a challenge, right? Because you have to be able to overcome that. If you're if you own your own business, you have to sell yourself, right? Being an introvert is hard. You got to figure out how to get that work around as well.
Yeah, my kids were giving us a hard time when we were on vacation the other day because I've gotten to where I talk to everybody. I didn't used to be that way. Being married to who I'm married to brought that out of me. And then being in real estate, you have to be willing to talk to people. It's a relational business. Veterinary is not much different than that. You've got to be able to communicate with your clients. You've got to, be willing to talk to people. And that's how you make more relationships.
Yeah.
Build your business. I mean,
it's all about
if people like you, they're going to come use you.
You mentioned collaborating earlier. Mm-hmm. Why collaborate? You're big enough now. You don't have to.
So
maybe
because my mission in life, right, is to make everyone that I'm involved with as successful as I can, right? So part of the benefit of Lani not working for me is that it wasn't the right spot for her to be as successful as she could, right? And I think if you can collaborate on business stuff, you can bring more people success. Mm-hmm. And also with the understanding that not everybody gauges success the same way that I do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes partnerships difficult, I think.
Yeah.
I've got several and have had a lot more that I don't have anymore.
Yep.
Not because I didn't appreciate, love, and value the people that I was in partnership with. I've had very, very few partnerships that actually ended bad.
Yep.
Most of them it was misalignment of goals, usually around what input was required. But I think the input was determined by what winning looked like for them, because a lot of people get really comfortable, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. But winning looks different for one person than it does the other. And I think that's what makes partnerships the most difficult thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Unless you have clearly, now the more clearly defined your roles are, the better. So you will treat a horse, which is one role in the practice.
Yep.
And you've got an executive role in the practice, and you're an owner. So you got 3 roles, maybe more than that.
Probably more. Yeah. But yeah.
I've got the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'll sell real estate.
Yep.
When I sell a piece of real estate, Kasey Mock gets paid and the company gets paid separately, no different than if Lani sells a piece of real estate.
Yep.
Lani gets paid and the company gets paid. And then I get paid as an executive in the company and as an owner if the company makes money.
Yep.
And so you have to be real clear on those 3 roles. And we found that when we enter into partnerships, if everybody's roles are clearly defined, if it's not, Charlie, let's do this thing together, it'll all work out, probably won't. Probably won't. But if we can define our roles and we're each compensated fairly for the input and the roles, partnerships can be good.
They can be very beneficial.
Very good. Allow you to move further, faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to the point to where I understood that you can be in a partnership, not even like just when I say collaborate, we own part of a compounding pharmacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of us in there, right? And I let the compounding pharmacy run itself, right? And it works better that way as long as you put the right people in place. If you put the right people in place, this business will be successful. And it's okay if it's not like me. They don't have to do things like I want them to do them. When we worked through that process in the compounding pharmacy, finally got the right people hired, right? The culture is similar and their goals are similar, but they don't have to execute it the same way I did. The reason that the veterinary partnership we had before is Brazos Valley Equine Hospitals, the reason that it didn't work is that we didn't have the same system on how to get there, but we branded ourselves as one business, right? So the business wasn't successful, even though no one was wrong in how they ran their individual practice, but it just became difficult to brand it as one big practice if we didn't do everything the same.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important part of understanding business and how you can collaborate. And now I'm much better at that than I was then.
The Chick-fil-A and Churches and Chicken Express are all 3 successful chicken restaurants.
That's right.
They do things differently.
Absolutely.
But every Chick-fil-A is run the same.
Yes.
And every McDonald's is run the same.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you want to cook burgers, you don't have to be with McDonald's.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. What's failed? We talked a lot about success of Dr. Charlie Buchanan, signature. Give me an example of something that's failed, because I know there's been failure.
Oh, I invested in a genetics company, right? And it's broke. So that money's gone, right? Didn't have any direct involvement in that. Right? So then it's just an investment, right?
Yeah.
Brazos Valley Equine Hospitals, the way we set it up, it wasn't successful. But I don't count that as a failure. The business didn't succeed, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you understand what happened and you fail forward, right? It's not failing. Right? So I tell my kids all the time, right? You didn't win, but as long as you understand why you didn't win, right? It didn't work. It's not a failure. If you
win or you learn.
You learn.
Yes, exactly. That's the same, right? So I don't like. I had someone asked me a few years ago, like, what would I change in my life? I don't think I would change anything. Honestly, I think there's things that I've done, interactions with people and personal experiences that I'm not proud of, that I would do differently. But I don't think anything I've done in the big scope of my life that I would change, because it got me to where I am and I'm pretty happy where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So just sometimes you succeed by accident.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest challenges to the equine industry are moving forward?
Well, I think I mean, it's got to be a bubble, isn't it? Like it has to be a bubble, right? And I think on one hand, you look at the prices of horses and what veterinary medicine costs, right? And where it was 10 years ago. I'm like, man, there's no way it's sustainable. But on the other hand, there's $7 trillion in M1 and M2 money, right? Sitting on the sidelines in checking accounts and savings accounts, just hanging out in this country, not worldwide, in the United States of America, to be deployed for some purpose that is just sitting there waiting to be spent, right? So I don't see how it ends anytime soon. I also don't understand how you can keep spending $1 million on a horse and have it last.
Yeah, we see it in real estate. Like, and there's nothing wrong with the scenario that I'm going to speak of, but you'll see somebody come and look at a piece of property. I'll give a personal example. I owned a piece of property north of town. It wasn't a luxury property. It was an acre with a house and a barn, but it would have been a nice starter place, a nice place for some college kids or a little family that wanted stock show and a little workshop. And it had a half acre in the back that was a trap that you could have put horses in. You could have pulled the living quarters in it, come around and pulled back out. The amount of people that pulled up in a Ford F450 truck, which those cost about $110,000 if you don't put anything on them. The amount of people that pulled up in a Ford F450 that had a living quarters trailer that could not get qualified to purchase that house at $300,000 was mind-boggling. Yeah. But I know they've got cash flow and they've got income. And if I would have been in the seller finance business, I probably would have seller financed it to a bunch of them because I think they would have paid for it every month. They're not irresponsible. But their hobbies or their lifestyle, predominantly horses, eats up a big part of their income. The horses cost more, the fuel costs more, the feed costs more, the veterinary medicine costs more, the trucks cost more, the trailers cost more. And that stuff has accelerated a lot in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, a lot, faster than income has. Yep. And I think our market here, Lani, in Stephenville, because we've got offices all over the state, real estate offices all over the state, and Stephenville is not one of the strongest markets. It's a great market. It's probably the one I enjoy, one of the more enjoyable markets, meaning the people we work with here are buying and selling for reasons that I tend to align with. I really enjoy it. Whereas other places, it's more of an investment transaction, and the only thing that matters is the numbers. And if I shake your hand, you may change what you said tomorrow because the numbers don't look as good, and it's not as enjoyable. Doesn't mean it doesn't pay good. Not as enjoyable. But what I've seen here is the cost of the things that we do has outpaced the increase in income. So I agree with you. I think at some point it
depends, I think. I'm not sure that I would agree with that statement fully. Because I don't know what everybody else makes, right? But I know what I pay my employees. And I think a lot of the increase, a big part of the increase of our fees, we pay that to the employees. Yeah. Like I can remember when I first got here 20 years ago, my goal in life was to try to get my employees making $30,000 a year, right? And we got that done. But now I've got 3 people who aren't vets making $100,000 a year. Yeah. Right. And I think that gives me a lot of satisfaction to be able to do that. And that I can pay a living wage to technicians, right? It was a mindset shift inside of our business. And I don't think a lot of veterinarians have that, or a lot of businesses really have that. Right. But I think it's beneficial to my business. Sure it is. But I can also see, like, we're trying to, my oldest daughter and her husband are moving to Nashville. She's going to grad school at Vanderbilt. Right. So we're buying a house in Nashville. The amount of inventory there, like, shocked me. It's
crazy.
Yeah. Like, she would send us,
y'all looked at like 30 houses.
We looked at 30 houses in a day and a half. Right. And every week when she would send the list of new houses on the market, it's 30 houses that would fit their parameters. Right. And just amazing, the inventory. They sell, right? I mean, I'm looking through the list, and some of the ones we liked a month ago, they're sold. Right. But I look at the properties around Stephenville and Parker County, and I drive past the same signs on some properties for 2 years. And I drive past another one and it's gone in 6 months. I don't know if it's a price thing. The ones that don't sell, those guys don't need to sell it, and they're just priced. It's a
price thing. Yeah. It's a price thing. I sold one, put one under contract last week with JJ. First day. Yeah. I've got another one that's very comparable that's actually in Morgan Mill. It's very comparable. It's just priced $100,000 higher, and it hasn't sold. And it's only shown a couple times.
You think if the interest rates get better, that problem solves itself?
Interest rates, I think they will help.
Rates are over a 30-year period. If you go back 30 years, rates are about an average right now.
Yeah.
So rates in our lifetime historically are not high.
Yeah.
They are high for the majority of what people remember.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get to 3% rates. But anytime you have rates in the sixes, you're in good shape, man.
Because I got a little age on me.
You remember when they were in the teens.
First house I bought, 11.5.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. 11.5 arm.
So don't complain about 7% interest.
Right.
Yeah. But sellers have to price them accordingly. I think for a lot of my clients, because a lot of my clients are business owners, interest rates affect them in a lot of other places in their life, not just their house. And so if you carry a bunch of inventory, if you have a revolving line of credit at work, or you've got debt on a fleet of vehicles or fuel or whatever else, farm debt, anything like that else, interest rates, when they're higher, they affect you there, which takes away some of your discretionary income or what you can spend on your home or a ranch, a ranch, especially one that's a second property, or a beach house that's a second or third property. We see probably a hit there before we're seeing people back off of primary residences. Because your primary residence is a big part of your identity for most people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's where I live. It's where we entertain. It's where our friends come.
Yeah.
It's the properties in the middle, I think, are the ones that don't look like they sell very well. Like it's the big properties that someone that has some of that $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines just has access to. They can come pay cash for it. Those sell.
Bigger the deal, the more the cash for us right now.
Yeah.
The biggest deals are almost always
they're
cash.
almost all cash right now.
Yeah, the smaller, the higher percentage of financing, the smaller the deal gets, seems like. Yeah. Counterintuitive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
They think, well, they must finance the big ones and pay cash for the small ones. Almost never. Yeah, almost never. Unless you're a wholesaler.
Same in the horse business, right?
Oh, yeah.
The guys that are buying horses for $1 million they're writing checks and they don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the ones that are buying them for 100,000, like that's a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is brought to you by the Mock Ranches Real Estate Group. At Mock Ranches, we specialize in representing buyers and sellers of farms, ranches, and recreational land across the state of Texas. Our team sold over $1.25 billion of Texas land, and we focus on helping landowners make smart decisions about their most valuable assets. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or simply want to understand the land markets better, get a hold of us at mockranches.com. Mock Ranches, Texas land represented right.
What other headwind do you see in the industry? Is there I'll ask you specific, is there a surplus of veterinarians coming out of school or a shortage?
Right now there's a shortage.
Of large animals, small animals, or no difference?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them. I think, so we've been on a quest, just my brother and Brad, to recruit veterinarians into equine and large animal medicine because the narrative inside the vet schools is you can't make any money. Quality of life's terrible. You're on call all the time. And none of that's necessarily true. Depends on where you end up. And that's been pretty successful, right? Our number of vet students that come through our practice went from 1 a month to 3 at a time, right? So we'll have 3 vet students there pretty much year round now. And then our internships, they'll do a 1-year internship at a vet school to get some better skills. It's a pretty competitive market now, but it's not hard. It's not impossible to find them anymore. But I think the risk is that we might have oversold it, right? Because there were 2 just done with their internships. The problem that they had they were together, like a couple, that we were friends with, did externship with us. We knew them. They didn't do an internship with us, but they wanted to move back to this area, and trying to find a job was difficult, right? It's not hard to find a job if you don't care where you live. But if you want to live in a specific area, it could be challenging. Mm-hmm. And then there's like Texas Tech puts emphasis on large animal students that want to go back to the rural communities. And then there's a couple other vet schools that are going to come online. So there's a chance that it may be too many in the near future. But that has been a narrative 2 other times in my lifetime, and it never worked out. Like, oh my God, we're going to do all these vets. And then in 2 years, everybody's begging for a vet, right? Rural America struggles to find veterinarians. mostly because they don't want to pay for stuff, right? They want to keep the traditional model of local country vet.
Charges $50.
Yeah, low charges. And tech's put a lot behind doing that, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to help that. Like you can get some student debt relief if you go back. The problem is that you can live in Stephenville, Texas, and be a equine practitioner, and you can make $200,000 a year pretty easy. Or you can go live in Fort Worth and work 4 days a week in a small animal practice, and you can make $250,000 easy, right? If you go back to West Texas, Blanket, right, and you want to run a mixed animal practice, you're not going to make that, and you're going to work 7 days a week.
Yeah. You are on call 7 days.
Yeah, all the time.
Right. Yeah, and if you can get a big enough mixed practice, you can share a call, right? It's just hard because you're doing a $100 spay where you're doing a $500 spay in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only headwind, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
Our business is so unique. I don't think it hurts us. The equine market doesn't hurt us, especially where we are. Like there's just so much work. Like it is. It's amazing. Like some just random vet can move into Stephenville, Weatherford area, and they're just busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
and
most
y'all
excited
built
about?
such
Yeah, I think what I really enjoy is the collegiality in veterinary medicine right now. Like we all collaborate and talk to each other about cases. We all know we share clients, right? And then communication between practices and veterinarians that aren't in my practice it's pretty cool. Because I can remember when I was a kid, my dad, like there was 3 vets in Texas that could work on a lame horse, and they hated each other basically. Like they didn't communicate, right? And it's not like that anymore, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I enjoy. Nothing gives me more pleasure than having a former employee like Lani that goes off into successful. Like if someone poaches one of my employees, like they don't ever want to tell me they're going to quit, but it's like, it's a great conversation, right? It's so cool. Like you got a good job. Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff like that. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
You mentioned earlier, we'll kind of wrap up here. You mentioned earlier when you started, your goal was for your employees to all make $30,000 livable wage. I got out of college and my first real job was for the Texas AgriLife Extension Service. And I made $28,500 a year in 2008. And we lived on that. Now it was beans and rice, rice and beans. And I was a very good hunter, deer hunter, still am today. But it was a good thing because we always had protein. We could not have paid for protein with that amount of money. But I remember when I got my job offer from Keller Williams Realty International to come run that business for them, and it was kind of a startup for them. It paid $120,000, and I thought I was like, where would I ever spend it? I was blown away. Like I would have done it for a fraction of that. When I interviewed for the job, I never once asked. Still today, I've never once asked what something pays because I think you earn what you're worth or you leave.
Yeah.
But I didn't ask what it paid. They offered me the job, and I said, I'll take it. And Mary Tennant, who was the CEO at that time, Mary said, well, don't you want to know what it pays? I was like, well, sure, but I figure you're going to pay what I'm worth, you know? And she said, well, we're going to offer you $120,000. Do you want to counter that? I was like, I don't want to lose this deal, baby. You know, so I didn't know where you'd ever spend it. Turns out it doesn't last very long, but I didn't know where you'd ever spend it. But I remember when we started building our companies, so this would have been like in 2014 probably, I had my first employee net $100,000. And I was like, this is the most rewarding thing ever in business, is to see what it's like to succeed with and through people.
Yeah.
And have them accomplish. So like our motto today is we want everybody that works for us to be able to accomplish all of their financial and family goals inside of this company. And if they can't, they shouldn't work here.
Yeah.
If there's a bigger opportunity they find somewhere else and we can't keep them, that's our fault. It's not their fault for leaving. It's our fault for not providing the opportunity that they needed. And I still believe that. I believe that. And I believe that nobody has to lose in order for me to win.
Yeah.
Nobody has to lose in order for me
One
to
side effect I didn't anticipate with paying our employees more, paying them well, was that because I've never had a problem with someone making overtime. If you want to work, you show up and work, and great. Well, I'll find something for you to do. And 5 years ago, finding help on the weekends and during those cutting horse shows, and we're going to work every day. It was not hard. Now because they all have a little bit of disposable income. They have stuff to do on the weekends. Sometimes finding help on the weekends is challenging. And there's always college kids around, and there's a couple employees who just, they love the business. They're going to do whatever they got to do to make it work. Like it's a little more of a conversation though. Just talking them into work on the weekends, which is good. Like it's cool. I like to see it, but
what's my time worth?
Yeah, but trying to find somebody to help me on the weekends every now and then, it's a little bit of a struggle.
All right, tell me your favorite dish on the catering business. What's the favorite dish
that I cook or that I've ever eaten? Because that's not the same thing.
Oh no! If I am fortunate enough to make the cut and get Signature Equine Catering to come cater an event, you
got to make sure Dr. Brad's on meat that day. We'll do tenderloins.
Tenderloins.
Yeah,
I heard there's some tacos that are really good too.
Tacos are good. Tenderloins are they're next level. Like
okay, got it.
And the weird thing is, like every time we make something, I always see Brad's face, right? Because he's like, we'll get it off, we'll cut it. He takes a little bite. He's like, oh, man, this is the best thing we've made so far. I'm like, I don't know, man. That tenderloin the first time, it was pretty special. It was pretty special.
Got it.
So what's your favorite dish that y'all don't make?
Man, there's a restaurant in Napa that makes a scallop that's underneath a puff pastry with squid ink in the puff pastry. Dang, man, that's good. It is so good.
Charlie's secretly a
Sounds
foodie.
weird.
He's a foodie.
It is weird, right? I ordered it. We were with some friends that own a winery out there, and they're like, "Hey, you got to have the scallops." Like, I read the menu. I'm like, I'm not scared, right? But yeah. Had when Mac went with us actually to Atlanta to see Corinne.
Oh yeah, he was talking.
And there was caviar and chicken nuggets on the menu. I'm like, what the hell?
Mac was hilarious telling me this.
I'm like, well, we got to try it, right? Like, who eats caviar and chicken nuggets? Evidently, that's a thing I didn't know about, and it still is to this day the best chicken I've ever had. Like it was amazing.
Mac was like, Charlie took us to this Michelin-rated restaurant and we had chicken nuggets with caviar, but he said, "I'm telling you that it's not what it was." I mean, it was like fantastic.
It was remarkable. Yeah.
Got it. Well, thanks for making the time for us, Charlie. I enjoyed just getting to know you better.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Cool.
Signature Equine Hospital, north of Stephenville, is where they can find you. Yeah.
Yeah. Come look us up.
Lani,
come by and visit.
Lani Rust. All the socials.
Ranches.
Got it. Thanks. Appreciate both of you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
That wraps us up. I appreciate you listening to the Landowner Insider. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to follow the show, leave us a review, and share it with another Texas landowner. For more insights, listings, and resources for Texas landowners, visit mockranches.com. Until next time, I'm Kasey Mock, your host. This has been the Landowner Insider. Go get 'em.